Candace Owens is Alex Jones, but pH balanced for her. She's Lady Alex
That is
Jones.
exactly, she's Lady Alex Jones.
Hello and welcome to Hysteria. I'm Erin Ryan.
And I'm Alyssa Mastromonaco.
Alyssa, when is the last time you ruined a picture?
Erin, I think that I ruin pictures a lot, not on purpose, but most recently, I think whenever my niece tries to take a picture, I think it's funny. She gets mad at me when, wee, it doesn't look good.
Is it because you're smiling wrong? Like, why? What's the reason?
I mean, you know, it's my regular smile, but I think it comes out funny sometimes.
Okay, fair enough. I too ruin all pictures. When I'm asked to pause and move as though I'm about to have a picture taken, it ruins it.
Yeah, totally.
Smile.
Anytime someone says smile, actually, that is the easiest way to ruin a picture.
Tell me to smile. Yeah.
Yes.
I had a realization this week. This week about our national politics. I was, first of all, apologies to everybody listening this week. I am COVID-ridden. I am COVID-ridden and I don't feel good. So yeah, if I sound sick, it's because I am. But I was thinking this week, I was watching footage on TikTok of the Portland anti-ICE protests of all the people in the inflatable costumes and how you know, and I was thinking about the Kristi Noem moving to the edge of a building and trying to mean mug a crowd of people just be goofing around and how ridiculous it looked. And I realized Kristi Noem especially, the DHS and ICE and whatever, they're all trying to create photo ops. Kristi Noem travels around with a glam squad and she's trying to make a reality TV show where she's the queen of ICE or whatever, and getting, filmed from angles where we can't see how bad her skin is or whatever. But I realize the way to fight back against this Trump version of photo op fascism is just ruin the pictures.
It's true. When she tried to look tough, saying she was staring down Antifa and it was a chicken.
Right. But that's it. Those the Portland protesters realized that they just ruin the pictures. What kind of a picture are they trying to get? What they want is scary looking,
menacing,
crusty punks punching guards and with their septum piercings or whatever. But what if they're dressed up like a dinosaur? That ruins the picture. That ruins the picture. The picture is so important and the footage is so important that even accompanied with a nice headline, a bad picture is interpreted as a bad story.
Right.
By Trump. This week there was an outcry about a photo used on the cover of Time magazine accompanied by a flattering headline. But in the photo, Trump looks like an intestinal polyp. And
it is not good.
It's not a flattering photo, but it is a flattering headline. And because of that, Trump supporters are oh, shame on them. I can't believe that they would do something like this. You just ruin the picture. That's it.
It is. The thing about that is sort of incredible is how was that picture even taken? It is objectively the strangest angle.
It's so funny. It kind of looks like it was shot with a fisheye lens.
It looks like he has no hair.
Mm-hmm. I know. He looks like a polyp. He looks like
a polyp.
He looks like he's chilling on the inside of someone's colon, just waiting for a gastroenterologist to be
we got to get a cleanse.
We got to get that one out of there. I think it's but it seriously looks like it was shot with whatever lens Hype Williams used to use. Remember that music video director who shot all the
no.
Oh my God. In the TRL era, he was
oh yes, okay.
Yeah, he shot, I think he shot the Missy Elliott The Rain video where everything is a little distorted. Anyway, that's what it looks like it was shot with, except Trump does not look as cool as Missy Misdemeanor Elliott in that shot. It's
never
very funny. I wonder if newspapers could get away with writing unflattering, or other news outlets, TV news outlets, for example, could get away with airing relentlessly unflattering stuff about Trump if they just accompanied it by one of those AI pictures of him where he looks like he's got big muscles.
he'd never notice. He would never notice the story.
Yeah.
And he would retweet the photo, not because he would not have even read it, but he'd be like, I look so good.
Right. He doesn't like to read. Is it?
Well, right. Which is why your theory is actually genius.
Yeah. So anyway, listen to this mainstream media. Erin
just solved your problem.
I solved it. I solved it. But also, like, I feel like the ruin the pictures thing is another way for like soft resistance for regular people. Like, you are in a place where like fascism comes marching through. All you have to do is just, what wouldn't they want in this picture? And then do that.
Chickens, dinosaurs, peaceful drum circles.
Peaceful drum circles, like anything that they wouldn't want to be in the picture. Just get creative. I believe in you, America. Kind of. Let's talk a little bit about Trump's health. President Trump had his second routine yearly checkup of 2025 last week. I mean, who among us hasn't accidentally scheduled two
routines?
His physician declared him to be in excellent health. He also received his annual influenza and COVID-19 immunizations. I wonder what his bestie RFK Jr. thinks about that. But in the spirit of the Maha contemporary way of talking about health, we just want to ask some questions.
Just ask some questions.
Elephant in the room, Alyssa, is it an annual checkup if it happens twice?
It is not an annual checkup, right? It would be a semi-annual checkup or a biannual checkup.
Is semi-annual and biannual the same thing?
I never know.
When I used to, back in the day when I was like young and had low self-esteem and shopped at Victoria's Secret because I thought it was good underwear, I was always confused by the semi-annual sale.
So maybe semi means it could be a couple times a year.
Semi half year? But bi also could mean two. I don't know.
Either way, one physical a year is your annual. More than that is not annual.
It's not an annual. There are some, like, I don't know. There's theories about his health floating around, some of which we've discussed on here. And actually, apologies to our producer, Caroline, our senior producer, Caroline, because I looked into her claim. She insists that she thinks he has some form of syphilis. It's not as unfeasible as I thought it was, just given the cluster of his symptoms and the fact that his doctors clearly do not tell anybody the truth about anything ever.
Well, and the truth is, right, they normally say the opposite of the truth. So when the doctors stated that his cardiac age is 14 years younger than his chronological age, flag. I'm just going to say.
No, it's not.
That seems like a flag.
It's not. It's definitely... It's definitely not. He just wanted someone to tell him. I mean, Donald Trump is really bad at, like we've said in the show before, he's really bad at shutting the fuck up. And he just cannot stop talking about how he's worried about getting to heaven, thinking about getting to heaven. Like, clearly it's on his mind.
He has been talking about heaven a lot lately.
Like how it's clearly on his mind. He's thinking about his own mortality. His vanity would have prevented him from thinking about that at any point up to now in his life. And so why is he thinking about it now? Like, unless...
Well, and he was talking about Charlie Kirk. He was giving him the Medal of Freedom the other day at the White House. And he's just like, I'm sure Charlie's looking down at us in heaven. I'll go to heaven. I mean, I think I'll go to heaven. Like, it was like, okay.
Yeah. It's just, you don't need to bring it up, man. Like, you could just not
keep it to yourself.
You don't need to bring it up. I mean, unless it's like preoccupying you, which it seems to be doing. I think, I mean, like, there just have been very obvious signs that he's not well. I think a good way, and if you don't believe me, whatever, and you just want to, like, you know, Cardi B eyes gesture, go ahead and listen to him speaking even in 2020. Or during the campaign.
Oh, yeah.
Listen to him speak during the campaign in 2024. Listen to him speak like a little over a year ago and compare it to now. Something has changed in the way that he...
Well, there are things, right? Like, I mean, it's if people were saying, what's wrong constantly? What's wrong with your hands? Why are you bruising? Why do you have all this cover up on your hands? Like, why are you clapping oddly? You know, you think that if you were going to have a twice annual exam, that you would address what those were if they were just non-controversial, like, you know, like, oh, I'm a woman. I have brain fog because of my estrogen. I will happily tell people that because it's a reason why I have brain fog.
Right.
But, it feels like there are if there were simple explanations for things that people have been noticing for months and talking about, especially that impugn his vanity, anything about how he looks. You think he would be charging out with a medical reason for whatever people like his bruises and stuff would be happening, but he's not.
Did he fly to the Middle East?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he did.
Yeah.
So, and his checkup just so happened to happen right before he was supposed to fly.
Right. Right before he got on the plane. I'm
just saying, if you really have a long scheduled semi-annual checkup, how many months? April, May, June, July, August. 6 months.
Not even.
Right before a trip. There's something, whatever. We're speculating and but whatever.
Whatever.
How are we?
It just doesn't make sense to us, Erin. Right? We're allowed to say it just doesn't make sense to us.
The hand bruises and all the stuff, whatever. It doesn't make sense. But a lot of stuff in the world doesn't make sense. And so, I don't know.
Oh, what are we gonna do?
What are we gonna do? Maybe that's why
his third annual exam.
Third annual his triannual exam. He does tend to disappear for a few days at a time, every so often.
And then pops back up.
That's consistent with receiving some form of treatment, ongoing treatment that requires you to have a little bit of downtime, which is normal. A lot of old people get that, but probably ruins the picture, right? Again,
not people who are gutting HHS.
Right.
Hysteria is brought to you by Pregnancy Justice. Do you know what shouldn't be a crime? Having a miscarriage.
But in states across America, anti-abortion leaders are trying to make being pregnant, having a miscarriage, or seeking an abortion a crime. Across the country, they're giving legal rights to fertilized eggs, embryos, and fetuses, which means pregnant people have fewer rights. It gives the police and prosecutors permission to target and jail women for all kinds of behaviors they don't like during pregnancy. What this leads to is more women facing jail time for having miscarriages or abortion. It restricts access to fertility treatments like IVF and means that pregnant people will be more afraid and unable to get the medical care that they need.
These efforts to make pregnancy a crime are not about safety or care, but about control. They're about forcing women back to a time when we could not make basic decisions about our bodies, whether it was to get birth control, get an abortion, or decide when and how we start a family.
In the years since the fall of Roe, we have seen these cases continue to go up. A recent report from Pregnancy Justice, a national organization that defends the rights of pregnant women, tracked over 412 cases across the country, charging women with crimes related to their pregnancy, pregnancy loss, or birth in just 2 years since Roe fell.
Our justice system should be focused on solving real crimes, not attacking pregnant people for their personal healthcare decisions.
Pregnancy Justice is fighting for a future where pregnant women are in charge of their own bodies and lives, free from government control and the fear of jail time. We deserve care and compassion, not punishment. Learn more at pregnancyjusticeus.org/notacrime. That's pregnancyjusticeus.org/notacrime.
Hysteria is brought to you by Tovala.
Erin, what's for dinner?
Oh, God. You know what? I was going to ask you first. You know what? That question, what's for dinner? When do you usually get that text, Alyssa, or that call?
Honestly, from my husband, never. He's happy to not eat, but I ask it to myself around 2.
It's an exhausting question. If you love great food, but you hate just all the decisions that go into cooking or cleaning, listen up, because this just made weeknight meals about 10 times easier. So I got my Tovala oven. I've been cooking with it. I cook the meals. You can order pre-made meals with it, which are really, really good, super easy to clean up. I cannot believe how easy they are to clean up. But you know what else you can do with the Tovala oven? It's an air fryer. You can use it to toast things and air fry things. The best, tofu, slightly crispy tofu
totally.
I've ever made. It is so good. It is a multi-purpose machine, whether you're somebody who, some days I don't like cooking, but on days when I have time, I really like it. You know?
And for me, the reason I'm excited for my Tovala is that I cook for one so much that it's so much easier and faster than preheating my oven.
Mm-hmm. It is. Tovala is a smart countertop oven and a meal subscription that works together to make cooking effortless. It makes it really easy. Like I said, all you do is you scan the meal's QR code, so you don't even need to push buttons. You just
Really?
are like, beep. Yeah. It is so space age. It seems like something they would have in like Blade Runner, where it's just like beep. And
It feels very Jetsons.
yeah. And then you put it in the oven and it cooks it exactly how it needs to be cooked. It steams, it bakes, it broils automatically. There's no guesswork. You don't have to like set a timer and remember to jump up and change things. You can save up to $300 on the Tavala Start Oven when you order 6 or more times by heading to tavala.com/hysteria using my code Hysteria for a limited time. The meals are chef crafted. They taste just like homemade meals you'd make yourself, just without all the headache. I have to say, compliments to the way it cooks chicken. Like a chicken breast in the Tavala oven is like nice and uniformly moist and uniformly cooked. And you don't have to do the thing where you take it out and you're like, oh, is it done? Like, or you take it out and it's too done.
The end is real done, but maybe the middle is a little not too done.
Exactly. It always gets it right. So I'm a big fan. I'm sure listeners, if you either love cooking or prefer to think about other things, there's a use for the Tavala oven for you. For a limited time, because you are a Hysteria listener, you can save up to $300 on the Tavala Smart Oven when you order meals 6 or more times by heading to tavala.com/hysteria and use my code Hysteria. That's up to $300 when you head to tavala.com/hysteria and use promo code Hysteria. One last time, that's TOVALA.com, and make sure you use my promo code Hysteria for up to $300 off the Tavala Smart Oven. Remember, with Tavala, dinner is taken care of.
Well, let's talk about some of the departments that he's gutting as his health continues to be excellent and he's got the heart of a Gen Xer, I guess.
Well, Erin, while the president gets to parade around his excellent health, see my air quotes, with multiple checkups a year, Americans are getting screwed over health-wise every which way. Last week, the CDC suffered more significant staff cuts. According to CNN, more than 4,100 federal workers were impacted by the cuts, with over 1,100 from HHS. Termination notification emails were sent out shortly after 9 p.m. on the Friday of a holiday weekend, as they love to do. Earlier that same day, Trump happened to mention from the Oval Office that some of the cuts are Democratic-oriented. It's not a violation of the Hatch Act or anything like that. An insider told CNN that the Trump administration wanted to eliminate staffers that weren't going to just rubber stamp their unscientific demands. And ironically, last month, RFK Jr. said in testimony to the Senate Finance Committee that it's imperative that we remove officials with conflicts of interest and catastrophically bad judgment and political agendas. We need unbiased, politics-free, transparent, evidence-based science in the public interest.
Oh my God.
What?
The only good thing about RFK Jr.'s stint in charge of HHS has been watching Cheryl Hines get absolutely dragged on the View.
I don't understand. Like,
why do that show?
She's gone so full MAGA that she's like, I'm going to write a book. And I'm going to go on all the shows where I used to go, and I'm just going to charm people into being like, isn't it quirky? We're like, she's trying to do the like James Carville, Mary Matlin, like, look at us, we can just be opposites. And it's like, no, girl, he's got a brain worm.
He's also a shitty husband. He's a shitty husband.
That too.
He's gross. He's gross, and he has like a long track record of being a shitty husband. Not just to her. To his first wife. He was his first wife.
Dark shit.
Very dark shit. We do talk about it in our RFK Jr., this fucking guy. I don't want to get into it now, and I don't want to get too, sidetracked.
No, but bad guy.
Bad dude. Anyway, sorry, Alyssa.
Then there were more cuts. The Department of Education faced major cuts, with reports saying that nearly everyone in the Office of Special Education and Rehabilitative Services was let go. According to USA Today, nearly 90% of the education department has been furloughed.
Okay, Alyssa, can you explain like how layoffs during a shutdown affect workers differently than when the government's open?
Well, Erin, think about it. If you're at your job, government's open, and you get laid off, you get fired, you go to your HR department, your Office of Personnel, whatever it is, you find out about, so many of these people have worked here for years and years. They have retirement plans, they have health benefits, they have pensions. And so when you get furloughed, during a government shutdown, when you leave, so there's like a great episode of Veep that actually does the furlough and shutdown, like government shutdown process, like to a T. you leave. You don't have access to your email. You technically shouldn't bring your government devices home with you. You're supposed to leave them on your desk. So people somehow got emails 9:00 on Friday night, presumably to some sort of Gmail account, or like one of those sort of like, here's my other account for emergencies or whatever, saying that they were fired, but they have don't understand what it means, any severance, what their health benefits are. You know, in the government, you have something called a thrift savings program, which like I used when I was there, which was incredible. Like they have years of life wrapped up in something that they can't access now in any way, shape, or form. And they've just been told by a very unreliable government that they've been fired.
Right. And meanwhile, this very unreliable government is saying that it's for reasons that are kind of illegal. So if you're one of the people that got fired, it probably is in your best interest to take legal action against them. And it's going to be a long, costly process. But I mean, I don't know.
Just what government workers need to do. Hire lawyers.
Hire lawyers. Exactly. Just what they have the resources to do. But like,
exactly.
It seems like a lot of these Trumpy initiatives, when people actually fight them, they win. Like,
because they do it on like the most illegal ways possible.
And they never shut the fuck up about it.
No. And look at like Doge. I mean, we still don't know really what happened to all those Doge cuts. It looks like a lot of people who were laid off work continued to be paid because they couldn't figure out how to stop paying them. And then they had to rehire most of them. This was also part of what happened at the CDC on Friday. People were fired on Friday and then tried to like aggressively be rehired by Sunday because they realized you still need people who know how to do things.
So the federal government is on track to spend more money this year than it did last year, correct? Despite the Doge cut, like a significant amount of money more this year than last year.
Yeah, because Doge didn't save, because overhead is not how you save money. Like firing people is not really how you save a company or a government.
Some of the people that Doge fired, I read the other week, they were just not, they were kind of in a limbo for 7 months while all that got hashed out. So they weren't coming to work. They weren't coming to work. They were getting paid. And then they had to get hired back. So they got a 7-month paid vacation.
Yep.
Basically.
I read the same exact thing.
And I don't want to encourage everyone to be like, everything will turn out fine, because that's just a toxic way to think. No, it'll probably be fine. No, it's not. But people who fight the Trump administration, especially on things where the legality of them is in question, especially if you're in a blue state like mine, where our attorney general has a great track record fighting Donald Trump related pushes, you have a good chance of winning. But it just sucks that it needs to be this big of a pain in the ass.
Well, because it's people who, again, by and large have worked in the government. They're not getting rich by working in the government. And they were forced to live in limbo, with no security, no understanding of what was going to happen to them for 7 months. So I'm glad to find out, I guess, that they still got paid, but it's no way to live.
That's no way to live. Also, if you're still getting paid, you're probably like, I could lose my job. So that 7-month vacation is just like 7 months of, you're getting paid, but it's like 7 months of being like, what am I doing?
Also, you have no idea. I don't trust the Trump administration. You have no idea if they come back to you and try to reclama those wages and say, oh no, like we have it in an email that we fired you. So you have no idea. So it's actually pretty fucking
Yeah, it is. Yikes. All right. Well, ... TBD. I also think they're gutting the education department. And one of the primary functions of the education department is to manage, I guess, the way that people who are disabled or neurodivergent receive services through public schools. And it's just kind of crazy to see on the back of RFK Jr. yammering on about autism and Tylenol and all this stuff, and how autism ruins families, autism, blah, 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 blah. Don't take Tylenol because autism, blah, 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 whatever. Also, RFK Jr. in this press conference last week said that he saw a video of a woman who had a baby in her placenta, which is not where the baby goes.
What? Even...
It's like,
that's disconcerting.
No, it's not. She was taking it when she had her baby in her placenta. No, there's something very wrong if your baby is in your placenta. That's not where the baby goes. That's the wrong place, buddy. Tell me what I tweeted this. I X'd this. I don't know, or maybe I put it on Blue Sky. Whatever. I put this on social media. But ladies,
don't take pregnancy advice from a person who can't tell you what the placenta does. If they can't tell you what the placenta does, then they're not in a position to give you pregnancy advice. But it's interesting that, like, on the heels of RFK Jr. just fear-mongering and othering people who have autism, we are also at the same time cutting services that are supposed to help people who have autism. And it's because this, I think it ties back into this, like, dark eugenics that we are seeing a resurgence of right now. It's not that RFK Jr. does not want to help people with autism because he thinks that people with autism deserve dignity and care and access to services.
No.
They want to fearmonger about autism because they think that people with autism shouldn't exist.
Right. Exactly.
And that should be upsetting for everyone. Anyway, okay. Keeping an eye on those stories. But anyway, we're moving on to talk a little bit about something that when I first saw this story, I was like, okay, like I guess this is interesting. But last week, a Democrat running for the governor of California hit a PR nightmare. In case you missed it, 2 separate videos went viral of the former Congresswoman Katie Porter. One was from a recent cable news interview where she got upset with a journalist and ended the interview early. And the other video was from 2021 where she cursed at a staff member. I think she said, "Get the fuck out of my shot." Which, who among us?
Honestly, get out of the shot.
At work, we have Fox News on a lot, which is really bad for my mental health, which is why I sit there with my headphones in most of the time listening to Brian Eno and trying to, like, not dissociate. But this was like wall to wall. The coverage of Katie Porter being mean was like, there was so much coverage of her on Fox. It was crazy. And people are using these videos to spin stories about Porter where it seems like her main crime is being kind of mean.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say I kind of like a politician to be a little mean when it counts.
Yeah.
Like, her 3 terms in Congress were characterized by her harsh approach as a political outsider. She was very confrontational in hearings. Who can forget the Katie Porter whiteboard? She does her own thing. She's broken from Speaker Nancy Pelosi for calling to prohibit lawmakers from trading stock. Alyssa, what did you make of this story of Katie Porter? Katie Porter mean headline.
Here's the thing. So I watched the interview, the recent interview that everyone was talking about with the reporter, and I kind of thought it was bullshit. And let me tell you why. So a lot of times when you're running for office, there are these, like, different news organizations or special interest groups will do, like, meet the candidate, like, come answer our questions. And they give every single candidate the chance to do it, and you go. There was something about watching this interview that I was like, this was one of those, because Katie Porter, maybe she's a little mean. She's not a fucking idiot. And when she was talking to the reporter, she kept saying, you keep asking follow-ups, get to all the other questions. Because I think, and again, I am just pontificating, it felt to me like there was some sort of, like, here are the questions we're going to ask you. This isn't a gotcha. This is just, like, like, kind of run-of-the-mill interview. And I could give a shit that she got mad. I really could. I mean, we're watching people get outraged who read multiple reports that the current president of the United States, back when he was president the last time, threw a fucking steak and ketchup against the wall in the Oval Office. And, like, no one's worried about his rage issues. And it's like, and then if this one instance of Katie being pissed and being like, and she kept saying, it's like, think about it. I'm sure Donald Trump didn't, like, caveat before he went and threw the steak. She was like, listen, I don't want to get into a bad place with you, so I'm just going to leave. I mean, she used all of the, like, emotion words we've been taught to use.
Yeah.
And she was, like, excusing herself from the interview. And then to prove the point, they go back 4 years to another time when, she told someone to get out of her shot as she's sitting there working from her kitchen. So I don't care. I don't care, do you?
No, I think that, like, a person being not going out of their way to be nice is one factor among, like, dozens to consider when you're thinking about a politician. I think that there is some, like, sexism in this. Like, I can't see a man being penalized the same way that Porter's being penalized. I think the fact that the story got so much coverage on Fox News and conservative media is a reflection of the fact that they actually are afraid of Katie Porter. They don't want her to be the governor.
Right.
And they needed a story to fill so that they wouldn't have to talk about Jeffrey Epstein, which is like, always a possibility. It's like, oh, good. Here's something we can talk about that isn't Jeffrey Epstein. Here, let's do this. But like, I think the videos, she did seem rude in the videos, and I don't think that she was having a great day in both of the videos, but like, to think like, oh, well, this is going to sink her is like very weird and shitty. And it feels almost manufactured, like an AstroTurf.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I'm always saying things are AstroTurfed. I'm always saying things are AstroTurf. But I do think we communicate primarily on platforms now that can be and are manipulated by people with interests in manipulating our opinions. And so like seeing the fallout from this, we have to like understand as consumers of media, as consumers of the news, that some of the attention given to this is like blown up. Like we can't look at any story like this and think of it as all authentic. And then I mean, I think we also need to think like, who doesn't want her to be the governor? Who would be someone who is interested in like magnifying this? And do I really want to be in cahoots with them? I think it just sucks now. We can't just be passive consumers of content anymore. We have to take everything that we see and think like, why am I seeing this? Who benefits from this being a big story? Is there a possibility that this is being like manipulated? And yeah, Alyssa, were there a lot of people in DC who were like known behind the scenes as being like asshole bosses?
So there was one notorious person when I was when I worked on the Hill. But only one, like literally. And if you went back to like the early 2000s, mid 2000s, and were like, did you know someone who was like a real shithead? And it's like, everyone's like, oh yeah, there was one person that was like notoriously just kind of like sort of unhinged.
Can you say who it was?
Other than,
are they still?
No, I'm not gonna. They're still there.
They're still there.
I will off mic. I will tell you the greatest story of all time.
Okay, but I've also heard stories of like the kind of whisper network of like the male senators, the male elected officials that were like handsy.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm talking about someone who was potentially a bit abusive.
Oh, okay.
But like going back in time, oh no. And there were always like the handsy stories started dissipating over the year. You know what I mean? Like post Weinstein, I think that it wasn't as like, back when I was young and like I was an intern, people would be like, well, this senator, like don't be at a bar with him, or this member of Congress. I do think people kind of got the message as time has gone on that is not appropriate. And so I think that's calmed down, back from 25 years ago, but no.
Yeah, I mean, here are some people that would be just, you can watch the clips, listeners, and like make your own judgment, whatever. You're grown-ups. You're smart and you're grown-ups. But, like here's some people, like Fox News is delighting in this. We also, I've heard, and it's been reported by the Times, that there are Democratic Party insiders in California who are trying to draft Senator Alex Padilla, who's a great senator, but they want him to run for governor, and they don't like the people that are currently running for governor as Democrats. There's a couple billionaires who could jump in the race. I just, people... It's just kind of, I don't know. I find it gross. I find this whole story kind of gross. I don't like the videos. Katie Porter doesn't seem like she's nice in them, but I also don't like what I'm supposed to take from them.
Right. Also, people are allowed to have a bad day.
Yes.
And all she said was, what are you doing? You're confusing me. You keep asking the same question over. You know what? I don't want to get into it with you. I'm just going to go. Like, okay. I mean, I don't know. She didn't flip a table.
Yeah. I would say that like this is a good media lesson for anybody who's trying to like get better at being media trained. If you're a politician, whatever. I think that if you get to that point in an interview with a interviewer, is have like a code word that you can say so your staffer knows to be like, oh, I got to pull you. We're done.
Yeah.
Like there needs to be a code phrase that
for an emergency phone call coming in hot.
Emergency phone call, or like, hey, it's your kid's school, or like, hey, I gotta take this, like a way for you to step out. And then when you come back, you can be like, we are out of time. We're so sorry. That's it. That's how you can end the interview. Lie. Just lie.
Hysteria is brought to you by Honeylove. Alyssa, what do you personally like the most about Honeylove?
Erin, I actually love that up until Honeylove, I only wore sports bras because they're comfortable and they didn't give me a backache. But then they became our sponsor and I ordered a bunch of Honeylove and I love their soft form bra because it's like, look, I'm wearing it today.
Ooh. Well, I don't know what to say that isn't an HR violation, but you look great.
I know. Thank you so much.
You know what? I'm kind of the opposite when it comes to bras. Like I want to feel like something like
Snatched?
something is holding me up. Like I want to feel like a structure. You know, I need
get
it.
it.
So I don't like if I'm just going to work or whatever, I can't just like wear a sports bra. I will feel just completely adrift all day.
I get it. We all have our thing.
But the thing I love about Honeylove is that no matter if you like, you know, just a soft support bra or if you're like me and you need to feel like a structure, it does both of those things. Like
Something for everybody.
something for everybody. It is officially cozy season, which means soft sweaters, layered looks, and comfort on every level. And if your bra isn't part of that equation, it's time to change that. If you're still dealing with underwire pokes or bras that feel like body armor, it's time for a serious upgrade. Honeylove makes the best wireless bras that feel like a second skin. They're lightweight, breathable, and designed to work with your body, not against it. Whether you're layering under a tee, slipping into a sweater, or just hanging around the house, their bras give you the right amount of lift without the squeeze, thanks to years of research, development, and testing.
Honeylove's signature support comes from smart design, not stiff wires or bulky padding. It's all the shape and hold you want without any of the stuff you don't. Once you try it, you'll honestly forget you're even wearing a bra. So go ahead, ditch the wires, ditch the digging straps, and give your top drawer the upgrade it deserves. Fall is about leaning into comfort. Why should your bra be any different? Start cozy season off right with a base layer that actually feels as good as it looks. For a limited time, you can get Honeylove on sale. Take 20% off your entire order at honeylove.com/hysteria. Support the show and check them out because your comfort should never be seasonal.
Another thing great about Honeylove, you know, I said I need something that it's like you are supported. You are wearing something that is structured. I think another great thing about Honeylove is you can sleep in it. That's my test of a comfortable
Yep, you've
thing.
always said that.
Yep.
And I can in my soft form bra.
Yeah, I need something where if the world becomes too much for me, I can just lie down and just fall asleep for a little bit. And then when I wake up, it's back to the horrors. Treat yourself to the most comfortable and innovative bras on earth and save 20% off site-wide at honeylove.com/hysteria. Use our exclusive link to get 20% off, honeylove.com/hysteria. After you purchase, they'll ask where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Experience the new standard in bras with Honeylove.
Hysteria is brought to you by Ritual. Erin, I'm getting old.
What? No, you're not.
Yes,
You're getting young.
I'm getting older. I'm
Okay.
getting older,
Sure,
right?
sure.
Things creak a little bit, you know, body's acting a little bit different. So I had to, a couple years ago, I had to start taking a vitamin. My doctor was like, it's time, you have some deficiencies. And I went on a real journey of vitamins, Erin, because as we all know, I have a sensitive constitution. And now I take Ritual.
Ritual is the obsessively researched multivitamin. Ritual's essential multis have the nutrients most of us don't get enough of from food, all in their clean, absorbable forms. No shady additives or ingredients that can do more harm to your body than good. Also, because you mentioned your sensitive constitution, it doesn't like upset your stomach.
It doesn't. And part of my problem was always that vitamins upset my stomach, so I had to take them with food. But I don't eat breakfast first thing in the morning. So it's like all of a sudden you're like out the door and you're like, well, oh, geez, I left my vitamin at home.
You know
now
what?
I just take it with my coffee.
I've been so Ritual pilled, literally, that the other week I was out of Ritual. And I was like, oh, you know what? I have these old multivitamins that I can take. I don't know how old they were. And I took one and I like almost gagged. I was like,
yeah, you
can't-
like burped vitamin the rest of the day.
it was, it's like, I'm so accustomed to the luxurious experience of taking Ritual that now if I have to take anything else, I'm like, ugh.
What do you do without the minty essence?
I get upset. That's what I do. Their Essential for Women 18 Plus multi contains 9 key nutrients in 2 delayed release capsules designed for optimal absorption per day. Ritual even conducted a university-led clinical trial for their Essential for Women 18 Plus multivitamin to assess its efficacy. The results, it increased vitamin D levels by 43% and omega-3 DHA levels by 41% in just 12 weeks. I got to say, going into the dark season,
we need all we can.
vitamin D for sure.
Instead of striving for perfect health, aim for supporting foundational health. Get 25% off your first month only at ritual.com/hysteria. Start Ritual or add Essential for Women 18 and over to your subscription today. That's ritual.com/hysteria for 25% off.
Let's talk a little bit about Alex Jones. Alex Jones is having a week.
This guy. We were delighted to see the news that the Supreme Court rejected Jones' appeal to overturn a $1.4 billion libel judgment ordered against him over his false comments about the 2012 Sandy Hook school massacre, in which 20 first graders and 6 educators were killed. So, Erin, at its peak in 2016, InfoWars' daily radio audience was about 5 million people. So he was spreading his venom to 5 million people every day. He told his audience that what happened at Sandy Hook was a hoax. He promoted conspiracy theories that it was a stage event carried out by crisis actors. His false narrative fueled his followers to torment and threaten the victims' families, some of whom had to leave their homes and move. Jones was found liable in 2022 for this, yet he still has not paid the families he owes $1.
Ugh.
He keeps trying, Erin. He keeps trying. Chris Matei, one of the attorneys representing the Sandy Hook family, said, quote, "The Supreme Court properly rejected Jones' latest desperate attempt to avoid accountability for the harm he has caused. We look forward to enforcing the jury's historic verdict and making Jones and InfoWars pay for what they have done."
Good.
So now he says he does not have the money to pay, and he has described the $1.4 billion judgment as a financial death penalty.
Yes, that's the point, you motherfucker. That's the point.
That is the point. His assets are still undergoing a rocky process of liquidation, which has hit several roadblocks. Last year, The Onion had the winning bid for InfoWars in a bankruptcy auction, but the judge threw out the results due to a processing issue. So we'll have to stand by to see what comes of that godforsaken site.
I've heard the Onion is still trying. I've heard that
thank God.
I've heard the Onion's InfoWars dreams have not totally been. They're not totally gone. They're still.
It would be great.
Yeah. Alyssa, I had a realization when you were reading that description. Candace Owens is Alex Jones, but pH balanced for her. She's Lady Alex
That is
Jones.
Exactly. She's Lady Alex Jones. That is, or he is Mr. Candace Owens.
No, but I mean, he was first. Normally, I would be. Right. I would be totally.
He walked so she could run. No, you're right.
So
you're
she
totally
could run in soft focus, and very well lit. But yeah, I mean, like he's really entertaining. She's really entertaining. He goes down rabbit holes. She goes down rabbit holes. He's offensively wrong a lot. She's offensively wrong a lot. But still, like I watched an interview that he did with Tucker Carlson this week.
It's amazing.
Oh my God, it's so funny. It is so funny. First of all, like the way that I was able to learn to stomach Tucker Carlson was to like notice his funny little like tells that he does. Like,
yeah,
Tucker Carlson does this thing where he like acts stupid and like asks questions from a position of like things a stupid person would ask. And like he does it in this very funny way. I find him entertaining now, especially now that he's like kind of come untethered from the like Fox News, like conservative media establishment. There's something very funny to me about Tucker Carlson. And he just lets his guests just speed run through whatever crazy shit they want to say. He doesn't push them on anything. Like in this interview with Alex Jones, there's a part where they talk about like how they're not only white people are not tribalist. White people aren't tribal. Every other race is tribalism. Every other race does tribalism except not white people. And then they spend the rest of the interview using the phrase them and us a lot, which he does this thing where he says he's not something and then proceeds to be that thing for the rest of the time, which is very funny. But the funniest part to me of this interview, which Alyssa, it sounds like you also saw, is when Alex Jones, he's so afraid to talk shit about Donald Trump at all. He's always like, I know you're busy, Mr. Trump. Like, you're fine. I know you're busy, Mr. Trump. Like, you're fine. Blah, blah, blah. But then he also like just completely shit talks so many people in the Trump administration.
Rapid fire.
He hates Todd Blanche. He says Todd Blanche is a Democrat.
He says he's a Democrat that Pam Bondi,
He's
maybe she's not
lazy.
bad, but she's lazy.
Oh my God, that's so mean.
Bongino's an emotional big baby.
He's right. He's not wrong.
No, I mean, no lies detected. But
it's very funny. And like he hates Todd Blanche. I think it's because he wants Todd Blanche to basically act as his personal attorney and prevent him from having to pay out this judgment. But yeah, he's such a piece of shit. And it's, Alyssa, do you think he should be a future this fucking guy?
Oh my God, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think there's a lot to go into. I mean, he also in this Tucker interview, he talks about how like he identified a billionaire's compound and he understood that billionaire was dangerous, but the vantage point of him seeing the compound was from his private jet. And then there's more like us v them language, which is like, oh, so like right-wing millionaires versus left-wing billionaires. Like what are you talking? Like who does this conversation involve? Like what is this for? Like
it's outrageous.
It's absolutely outrageous. Can Alex Jones hold this judgment up at appeals until he dies though? Like he's been really like
no, they're going to come for him because I worried about this with Rudy Giuliani and Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss, the election workers that he defamed down in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. And I think that they're going to come for him. They're going to make him liquidate stuff. Is it going to be $1.4 billion? It's not, but I do think that eventually he's going to have to pay.
Yeah. He's going to have to pay. I mean, look, we're in the golden age of supplements. And so
right.
Since that's what he was making most of his money selling, like masculinity supplements, like.
And still, right? I think the parent company of InfoWars still makes most, like 80% of their revenue from supplements.
Yes, they do. So, it's not a financial death penalty. He's just going to like maybe have to fly commercial over a billionaire compound. And
but what is he gonna? Sad days for him. But I do just think that this isn't just like a political thing. These were like the Sandy Hook families. I do think that he's gonna pay.
I cannot think of a more sympathetic group
or proper correct judgment ever levied than this one against him.
Yeah. By the way, this is like a total like sideline or whatever, sidebar. You haven't seen the movie Weapons yet? It's a horror movie.
Ask me that again. Of course I have not seen a horror movie.
I watched part of it and then it got too scary for me.
It was too scary for you?
Yeah, well, because I have to read the descriptions of a horror movie before I watch it. Otherwise, I can't enjoy anything about it. I can't enjoy the cinematography or the storytelling because I get too caught up in the fear. And I think a lot of horror movies have like, especially like Ari Aster films, for example, have like very good storytelling, cinematography. They're saying something interesting. But I lose sight of it because I'm in a state of like fight or flight the entire time. And it's not
right.
It like interferes with my ability to enjoy it. So I have to like read a description in advance. So I didn't read a full description in advance and I was like, no, too scary. But for those of you who haven't watched it, my husband just finished watching it yesterday because I said no, too scary, and I made him stop so that he watched it on his own. And he said it was like really satisfying. It involves like a elementary school class, and all the kids in the class disappear one day except for one of the kids. They just disappear. Oh. And so it's kind of like the mystery of like what happened to them. And like I think now that I finally did my homework and read up on what actually happens in the movie, that I think it seems like it's a movie kind of about like Sandy Hook in a way. And it's like I just, if you're a horror fan or if you're like a thriller fan or if you're like me and you're a huge pussy and you have to read the description, I would recommend reading about it and watching it. It also made me hate Alex Jones more, thinking about the story. Anyway, okay.
Bad man.
Yeah, he's a bad man.